Am I in the wrong for asking my wife to stop dancing for me until she gets better? I'm 33 male and my wife 26 female has recently gone into sensual type of dance classes. Think burlesque or twerking to R&B music type stuff. She's an artistic type and loves music, movies, etc. But she's always wanted to try dancing for fun. I supported her new interest and I was happy to see her having fun. After about 2 to 3 months of taking these classes pretty consistently, she sat me down one night for a surprise. She dimmed the lights, came back in a sexy outfit and danced to a song. I was super excited to watch her, as she's been pretty shy about seeing her dance before, but I have to say that it was not good. If I'm being honest, it was really bad. To give an example, think of the show King of Queens, when Carrie takes up pole dancing and dances for Doug. I know it's played up for TV, but it was almost at that level. She tripped a few times and just overall didn't look comfortable or sexy, but I talked it up to nerves and said it was great, and the night continued. A week later, she did another show for me, and it was just as bad. I didn't want to get into the habit of her doing these shows for me and secretly not liking it, so the next night when we were cuddling before bed, she asked if I wanted another show sometime. And I told her as kindly as possible that I don't say this to embarrass her, but that the dances haven't been doing it for me. I asked her if she felt nervous or shy, and she said a little bit, but the nerves went away once she started dancing. Overall, she seemed to take it in good sport. But then the next morning, she was noticeably distant and eventually admitted that she's upset and hurt that I told her to stop and that I should have just kept watching them even if I didn't like it so she could get better over time. Obviously, it wasn't my intention to hurt her, but I felt like I was placed in a tough spot here. So, am I in the wrong? Am I in the wrong for not making child-inclusive plans that someone in my friend group can attend? I have a group of 6 friends and their significant others from high school. All of us are in our mid-20s. The only person in our friend group is Jessica, who has 2 young children and is a single mom. I'm the only person in my friend group that can host, as my husband and I own a decent-sized house and I don't have anything stopping us from hosting, I guess. One doesn't want to host, 2 live with their parents and can't, another has roommates that won't let them, etc. We all live in a rural area, so there isn't really anywhere to go for more than a quick dinner, so someone hosting is the only way that we can all hang out really. When I host is always later in the day, around 7 p.m.ish. That's when most of us are off work. I also have a no children rule for my house, since my dog is afraid of children and I honestly don't like kids anyways. My nephew yanked my dog's tail several times, so now my dog growls at kids. I had a gathering last weekend, a dinner time barbecue. Everyone was invited, same rules as norm. Jessica asked if she could bring her kids because she can't afford a babysitter since both of their dads aren't involved at all. I said no, because of my dogs and also because I don't want a baby and toddler at my house. The last time she brought them, she kept trying to push them off on other people who didn't want to hold them so she could relax. Also, her toddler puked on my 5K white couch, which I had to replace. No, she didn't pay for it. Jessica blew up on me in the group chat and said that I always exclude her. I told her that I'm not excluding her, I'm excluding kids. All kids. She's welcome to come if she can find someone to watch her kids. I also told her that she's welcome to host. She kind of went on about how all that's impossible and now she isn't talking to anyone. Our friend group is split. Half of them think it's my house's rules. One said that maybe if she screwed better guys she'd be able to have a babysitter. And 2 think that I should just let her kids come. To be honest, if it was someone else, I would have maybe caved. But I don't like Jessica that much, especially since she didn't pay for my replacement couch. So, am I in the wrong here? My 19-year-old sister got married to her high school teacher. He's 36 years old and everyone seems okay with it. She graduated a year ago and they told us that they were dating, almost immediately after graduation. I was shocked and angry, but everyone around me was happy and supportive of them. The teacher divorced his wife 2 years ago and started paying attention to my sister. He spoke to her after class regularly and paid special attention to her studies. I thought this was weird and talked to my sister about this, but she told me that he was helping her because she was the best student of her class. Which she was. A few months ago, only a few months into dating, they announced that they were getting engaged. I tried talking to my parents about their age difference and stuff, but they didn't want to hear it. I talked to my sister and she told me that she's happy and that she loves him. We live in a small town with a tight-knit community and everyone else is supporting their marriage. Eventually, the marriage happens. I contemplated on not going to the ceremony, but I didn't want to hurt my sister, so I went reluctantly. My blood was boiling throughout the whole thing. Everyone who came to the ceremony congratulated them. I couldn't even look the teacher in the face because I was so angry at him. I hated the whole thing. I'm leaving this town tomorrow. I had some interviews lined up and got selected in one. It's in a city and I'm moving tomorrow. I can't stand these people. My parents think that getting married to a good guy with a stable job is the best thing that could have happened to my sister, and my relatives agreed. He groomed her. Why doesn't anyone else see that? I wanted to scream at everyone. When I told my sister that I was leaving, she cried. I reassured her and told her I wasn't angry at her. I made it clear to her that she could contact me anytime under any circumstances and I would be there for her. I bought her a phone and told her that I talked to her regularly. I try to not antagonize anyone because I wanted them to reach out to me if anything happens. It was very hard to do so. I came very close to fighting several people. My sister was a star student. I always thought that she would go to a big college and become someone significant. But now she's going to be a housewife. That thought is destroying me. I wasn't harsh on her because I'm hoping that she wakes up soon and I want to be there for her when that happens. I want to support her and see her full potential and I'm wishing that it happens soon. I told her not to have children until she's sure. She has a contraceptive implant and I told her not to get it removed for at least a couple years. I told her to tell me if anyone ever pressured her to have it removed. I really hope that she follows my advice. As for the phone thing, my parents did not allow my sister to own a phone. She had to use the landline if she wanted to talk to people. That's why I bought her a phone. Part 2. My 19-year-old sister is getting married to her 36-year-old high school teacher. I wanted to share an update on my sister's situation. It's been a year and the situation has changed significantly in a positive way. Since the marriage a year ago, I've made it a point to talk to my sister regularly on the phone that I gave her. A few weeks in, her husband started pushing her to be in a traditional wife role, which created a wedge between her and her friends. But I made sure to keep in touch and visit her once every month. Her husband did not like that, but he tolerated it to keep up appearances. To deal with my frustrations, I joined a gym and started working out. Luckily, my boss at my job turned out to be a great lady who listened to me and gave me a lot of support and advice. She told me I could call her when I needed help, and became my mentor and an older sister I could lean on. Some months into the marriage, her husband managed to domesticate her completely. She stopped going out almost entirely and had very little independence, and he tried to start separating my sister from me. However, because I kept a good and consistent relationship with her, he wasn't able to do it. A couple months ago, he started hinting to my sister about wanting kids, but I kept repeating to my sister that she should not have children until a few years into marriage. Last month, he told her directly that he wanted children and my sister told him that she wanted to wait. He started pressuring her to get the contraceptive implant removed. So last week, I went back home to talk to him. I always try to be polite to him whenever I visit their home so that he doesn't have ammo to try to separate us. During conversation, I brought up how he was pressuring my sister to get her contraceptive implant removed. It escalated into an argument with him saying that he had the right to have children with his wife. When I didn't back down, he got frustrated and took a swing at me, which didn't connect properly. I didn't hesitate in punching him back in his face. He fell backwards and started howling in pain. I wanted to do that since the whole ordeal started and it was satisfying. I think him hitting me was my sister's wake-up call. He called the cops and told them that I assaulted him. Fortunately, I make sure to record everything whenever I visit their home. I called my boss and told her about what happened, and she promised to send a lawyer just in case. When the cops arrived, my sister took my side, which surprised her husband. With me being a woman and with my recording, the cops also took my side. The lawyer arrived after that, and I told her husband that I was taking my sister with me. He tried to protest, but the lawyer warned him I would press charges if he stopped my sister from leaving. He reluctantly let her go, and she's been staying with me for the last week. My parents were furious when they found out that my sister left her husband. They didn't seem to care that he hit me, probably because I stopped talking to them. I'm still talking to my sister about what she wants to do, and will probably start divorce proceedings in a few days. Her husband and my parents have been trying to call her and get her to come back, but I've made sure that she doesn't talk to them without me present. Throughout the whole thing, my boss has been super helpful and has been giving my sister advice about what she could do next. I know that I'm super lucky that my sister managed to wake up so soon and that I've had support from people like my boss. The whole last year, I was worried about how my sister was going to end up, but I'm elated now.
Am I wrong for denying my boyfriend a once-in-a-lifetime experience just to be stubborn? I get free tickets to events in the US every year, keeping it vague for privacy but box seats at popular sports games and up-close seats as well as concerts. And each year I get X amount of tickets. My boyfriend wanted to quit smoking and I told him if he did we could celebrate with tickets to X event. He was excited for that and came up with a plan to quit. Well, fast forward a month later, I saw he made no progress and said, I guess I'll invite your sister to the Taylor Swift concert then, since you're not making an effort to quit anymore. Now he's getting upset and saying it's not fair to tie the tickets to smoking. Am I wrong for denying my boyfriend a once-in-a-lifetime experience just to be stubborn? He got upset and said that it's not fair to tie the tickets to smoking and I should invite him to some of my free events just to be nice and share the experiences. I said we could discuss doing more than one a year when he quit smoking but not before. He got upset and said it was really rude of me to hold the tickets over his head and instead of trying to quit smoking, we should just go together. So now I'm holding my ground and he's holding his. Am I wrong for denying him these experiences until he quits smoking? I've never smoked cigarettes, so maybe I'm just unsympathetic. Also, he does want to quit and has been saying this for years. Am I wrong for calling my friend's proposal disrespectful? My friend, male 27, decided to propose to his girlfriend of 3 years, Dina, female 26. The two of them met at a bar pre-COVID and got really close really quickly and even moved in together. I think they're a great match, and my friend Stefan has never been happier. He told me he was planning to propose and I was ecstatic. The day after the proposal, I called him and I asked how it went, but I was shocked to hear that she said no. When I asked why, he said that he proposed to her at a bar. Am I wrong for calling my friend's proposal disrespectful? He said that she didn't like the way he proposed, and I had no idea, but he thought it'd be romantic to propose at the same bar they met. I could understand why she might not like that, but I asked her privately because she and I have gotten to be close. She said she told Stefan multiple times she didn't want to have a public proposal and that she was horrified it was at a bar of all places. So I told Stefan that his proposal was honestly really disrespectful and he seriously kind of messed up. To which he told me I was being an insensitive asshole and should be supportive. So I just want to know, am I wrong? By the way, I'm a woman, if that matters.